recording this on Friday night. So most of you have taken the test at this point, but some of you have not. So I'm not going to post this until sorry, it's Thursday night. And I'm not going to post this until Friday morning. Okay. But enough of you have taken the test, and I've graded enough of the essays at this point to be able to give you some general comments and feedback, the general specifics, if you will, right? And so, looking at the first things, just the average score is 92. That's great. High scores 100. We've got a few outliers there that kind of go below that 92%. But for the most part, you guys did really well, and it was good to see that. Even with the online learning, you were able to actually get the information right. I'm also really proud of you guys because it shows me that at least a good number of you took the test as a real test, right? Like you didn't just sit there with your notes and look it up. Maybe a few of you did, maybe they didn't. I don't know. But let's just go through it real quick. And as far as the actual questions, the objective questions, there's not really any of them. And you kind of tell us I'm scrolling through that I'm really worried about. There's a couple things here, right? In this question, what is the additional significance of the 10 plagues? But again, for the most part, you guys did really well with these questions. The thing I do want to spend a little time on is the essays. And so I'm going to scroll down to the essays because pretty much everything else you guys got correct. So let's go through each of the three essays really quickly and see what we got right, what we got wrong, and why it's important that we have the right answer moving forward. Okay? So the first thing, in 3 to 4 sentences, describe how the Israelites crossed the river in the River Jordan is like baptism. The best answer that I can think of is we got a surprise guest here. Isabel, you want to say hi? Say hi. All right. So the best answer that I can think of is the best answer that I'm looking for is going to say that the Israelites crossed the River Jordan into the Promised Land, and that is an image of how we cross into new life through the waters of baptism. And to get full credit, you need to show both, or really three things, right? The crossing of the Israelites through the River Jordan into the Promised Land is a salvific kind of image. That water is an image of cleansing and used in the sacrament of baptism, right? And then three, you do the same kind of process in baptism. So you need to add all three in order to get the 10 out of 10. If you had 2.5 out of the 3, you got a 9.5 out of 10, or a 9 out of 10, right? And for everyone you didn't have, points were deducted off. The thing I was worried about with some of your answers were much more around the idea of like you just said something like we also crossed the river into eternal life. Just to be clear, like this isn't Greek or Roman mythology. We don't cross the river Styx into eternal life. We don't go down into Hades. We have new life in baptism. And so yes, it's water, but we don't cross any rivers. So I just want to clear that up in case there's any confusion. And my wife is laughing at that one. and then finally you needed to draw the connection, right? Some of you just stated the facts, like the Israelites crossed the Jordan. Okay, we know that. Water's used in baptism. We know that. Connect the two, right? And so that's one of the ways you would have gotten more credit. Put an answer that didn't quite tie them together. So let's look at number two then. Number 2 says name one person who was chosen by God and describe them. Do they fit the pattern of election? And for most of you guys, you picked someone that it was easy to describe, like Moses, right? There's a lot that goes into the Moses story. You've got people picked Rahab. Some people picked Deborah, right? These people that were unexpectedly called by God. And eventually they answered yes, and there's this resolution between the elect and the unelect. The Joshua one, if you picked Joshua, I think that was a bit harder. And so some of you guys who picked Joshua. Okay, Isabel, say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Some of you guys that picked Joshua, it was a little bit difficult to tie into elements of election, and you probably saw that in the score that you got, right? So, again, I don't know if you can see Isabel on the back. She's got some kind of cable. So again, in the end, if you picked Joshua, it's probably harder to do. If you picked Moses, you had to show me why he was someone that fit the pattern of elections. So some of you guys just said, I chose Moses, and then told me the Moses story, but never really detailing how to fit the element of election. Okay. So again, to get 10 points out of that one full credit, you need to tell me who the person was and how they fit the element of election. Some of you guys just told me who the person was, and some of you guys didn't really fit it into the pattern of election. Right? All right, last one, and then here's the Chimuela video. Last one is this. Pick a figure who is a type of Christ or something that is a type of Christ in the units that we looked at, and then describe how they were. Pretty much anyone that picked Boaz got about 10 out of 10 because there was that chart that was really easy. Again, same thing with Joshua. If you showed how Joshua was a type of Christ. Some of you even picked Manna and things like that, and that's all good. Some of you picked Moses, and Moses is more difficult than Joshua or Boaz. So kind of how in the second question, Joshua was tough to fit in elements of election. You could do Moses for this, but you're going to have to work a little bit harder to show me. And some of you guys basically said something like, and this is where you got points off, right? You said Moses delivers people to the promised land. Well, he gets them pretty close, right? But he doesn't actually cross into it. And so you've got kind of this weird amalgamation of a few things going on there. So you only lost like a point or two. Okay. So why is any of this important? What does this have to do with today's life? Especially with the coronavirus and things like that, all that stuff. Why learn these stories? Okay, it's good to know the stories at the 8th grade level. It's just good to know the stories. It's also good to see how God does not abandon His people, even when it looks like things are going really bad. Right? If you're the Israelites wandering in the desert for 40 years, you're thinking, is God abandoned? Father Brown said today at Mass this idea that the Israelites, that when they turned to the golden calf, they used the gold that they carried with them from Egypt. Throughout that whole escape, they used that gold, the jewels that they had in their family, like heirlooms, to make the golden calf. And they basically said, my will be done rather than God's will be done. And what you see in the Moses story, the Joshua story, you see in the people like Rahab, people like Ruth, people like Deborah, and then the opposite with Samson. You see that when you trust in God's plan, no matter how crazy it seems, no matter how bad things seem on the outside, when you trust that God has a plan for you and cares for you, good things happen. It ends with a happy ending, even if you can't see it at the moment. And you also see on the flip side, right? When you start to doubt God's plan, and there's reasons to doubt. There's not reasons to doubt. But when you doubt God's plan, again, you can think even Moses at the end, or you can think of Pharaoh, right? The hardness of his heart, or you can think of Samson. Bad things happen. So again, just keep that in mind as you go throughout this quarantine, social distancing kind of stuff. That it may seem crazy. I remember going through Katrina. I was about your age during Katrina. Things seemed kind of crazy then, but God ultimately has a plan. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them live tomorrow. There weren't really any questions when I looked just now, so if you have any questions, live chat tomorrow. If you want to post them in the discussion board, I'll be answering them live tomorrow as well. And then we'll pick up with our next unit, 12 on Monday. All right, guys, have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next one.